Hextech crystals are a rare commodity which, as many know today, contain great power which could normally be wielded only by those with magical abilities. However, things change. Originally harvested from mysterious creatures of the sands called the Bracken, these crystals were first found by one Alicia Pharos. As any in the Pharos family will tell you, she lost her arm and almost her life, but it was a worthy sacrifice as is celebrated today, setting an expectation that is still reflected within the Pharos family. For family will I give. Learning the Bracken could not provide an unending resource, and especially not willingly, the Pharos family found a way to procure synthetic hex crystals. Although weaker than their original counterparts, these synthetic versions were easier to procure, yet everything comes at a cost, and it is presumed the production of these crystals contributes to the Zorn Grey, which wraps and poisons the city in a toxic shroud. Regardless, the Pharos family built its wealth on these crystals, and within that family, Camille was born, the sixth child of Rodri and Gemma, the masters of Clan Pharos at the time of her birth. Camille and her younger brother Stephen were the only two children who lived to become adults. With the family's focus set upon Camille as the eldest, no expense was spared in her education, instilling both her aristocratic attitude and sense of duty at an early age. With so many of Valorant's finest visiting Piltover, Camille had no shortage of exceptional tutors. Accordingly, she speaks the Zayun dialect of southern Ionia and the Noxian fluently. As a child, Camille was encouraged to take an interest in Valorant history and learned to read and write ancient Shuriman while assisting her father on digs in the Odin Valley. Camille also became quite an accomplished musician and plays the Selovina at a concertmaster level. Regardless of the accomplishments of the eldest child, much to the surprise of outsiders, among the leading families of Piltover, it is customary for one of the younger children to take up the mantle of the family's principal intelligencer, the sword and shield of their clan. Those chosen are tasked with operating in the best interest of a Piltovian family, working with the clan master to secure the family's continued success by any means necessary. Clan Pharos, with its wealth of secrets, has always taken this position very seriously, putting forward considerable resources to ensure its intelligencer was always the best. Camille's brother, Stephen, had been born with a weak constitution and was considered ineligible. Her parents, her father especially, were extremely proud when Camille took Stephen's place as the principal intelligencer for the clan. Stephen's jealousy simmered as he watched Camille embrace additional training and tutoring. She became quite adept in combat, espionage, and interrogation. Camille's favorite techniques were fighting with the Shonzan-footed glaive, gaining intelligence through classic inquisition, and repelling from a certain broken clock tower with a grappling line and hook native to the Western Serpentiles. When Camille was 25, she and her father were attacked by a band of augmented thugs. The gang was determined to move up in Zorn's underworld by laying hands on some of the family's more lucrative secrets. Both Camille and her father were wounded. Camille recovered, but her father succumbed to his wounds. Camille's mother passed away soon after, unable to bear the anguish that settled over the house. The title of Clan Master passed to Camille's brother, Stephen. Young, impetuous, and eager to prove himself as a strong leader of the family, Stephen doubled the already extensive Pharos research in human Hextech augmentation. Shaken by her inability to protect her father, Camille requested a Hextech augmentation from Hakim Nadiri, the new lead artificer for the family, to push her power beyond that of a human body. When Hakim met Camille, he was instantly enamored and was determined to draw Camille out of the darkness surrounding her parents' death. They bonded over the work at hand and late-night stories of the sands of Shurima. After months of intimate work together, Camille could no longer deny she returned Hakim's feelings. As the day of Camille's augmentation approached, they grew reckless in their affair, as they knew the surgery would mark the end of their time together. Hakim would move on to other projects for the family, and Camille would once again be fully committed to her duty as principal intelligencer. More than that, Hakim worried that in carving away Camille's heart, he might cut too deeply and deprive her of her humanity as well. Days before Camille's operation, Hakim's reservations about the procedure boiled over. He proposed marriage and begged Camille to run away with him instead. He painted a picture of their future, wandering the sun-kissed sands of Belzoom, uncovering the ruins of ancient Shurima, raising their children together, a future far away from the duty that bound Camille to her house. For the first time in her life, Camille was torn. Stephen's position as clan master depended heavily on Camille's ability to execute his visions. When he learned of the secret proposal, he saw his principal intelligence dangerously close to slipping away, and by extension, his control over the Pharos family. Stephen devised a plan to remind Camille of the duty she swore to their father. Stephen set himself up to be attacked the next time he knew Camille and Hakim were to be together. Using the fragility that had once denied him his place, Stephen presented himself, bloodied and beaten, to his sister, preying on her dark memories of the night she failed her father. Camille could not deny the evidence that stained her hands, proof of what could happen when the intelligence's attention was divided. Hakim pleaded with Camille, but she would not have it. Hers was a duty going back generations, one that, if she had been better prepared, could have saved her father's life and should have prevented injury to her brother. Camille insisted her surgery go forward and ended her relationship with Hakim. He still loved Camille and knew that he was the only one who could perform the surgery safely. Unable to let the love of his life die on the operating table, he cut away Camille's heart as she asked. Once he was sure that her new mechanical heart would beat without him, Hakim resigned. Camille awoke to find the lab she and Hakim had shared empty and abandoned. She threw herself into her work, taking on further refinements in the form of bladed legs, grapple-spindled hips, and other minor Hextech augmentations. Each addition pushed Camille and the ever more ambitious technology to the limits. This led some to wonder how much of the lady was still left. As Clan Pharos amassed more power and wealth, the missions Camille ran for her brother became darker and more deadly. Thanks to the rejuvenating vibrations of her Hextech heart, time passed for Camille without age, and soon Hakim Naderi became a distant memory. The years were not so kind to her brother. Stephen's body grew more frail, but that did nothing to loosen his iron grip on the title of Clan Master. On a recent assignment, Camille uncovered a naive Piltovian's ill-fated engagement, and with it, a series of events that exposed the depths of Stephen's treason. The lies that drove Hakim away now threatened to destroy Camille and the clan. She saw his greedy machinations for what they were, selfish and no longer in the best interest of the family. In that moment, she discarded the last sentiment she felt toward her brother and took control of Clan Pharos. Camille now runs the family's public affairs through her favorite grandniece she installed as master of the clan. This allows Camille to continue the more shadowy operations that ensure her family's success. Committed to her role as a solver of difficult problems, Camille has embraced her more-than-human transformation and the cutting-edge judgment it affords her. With hex crystal energy coursing through her veins, Camille has never been content to sit idle, and instead gains invigoration from well-executed industrial espionage, a fresh brewed cup of tea, and long walks in the grey.
Precision is the difference between a butcher and a surgeon. It is not the weapon that defines you, but how you wield it.
Bye!